Welcome back, and we have a full slate of movie news for you here today. We're talking Longelgs and A Quiet Place Day 1 trailers. We are talking John Wick director David Leitch directing a Jurassic World 4, Beetlejuice's new poster with a new title, Daredevil and Bullseye's new suits for Born Again TV show, and lastly, what is your favorite sports movie, or what do you consider to be the best sports movie? Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to ReelTime RoundTable, where we give you the best Hollywood-related news on YouTube. I am, of course, your host, Josh Williams.
I'm Jordan Burke.
And I'm Nolan.
Welcome, dear Nolan. This is the first time on the show. Yay. How are you doing today, my man?
Good. I'm happy to be here.
Before the show, we had to wait a little bit of time because you had to rush over to get a parking pass. Like, how fast were you driving when that happened?
Oh, dude, I walked.
Oh, you walked?
Yeah.
Or you ran?
A little bit of both. I ran in parts where nobody could see me because I didn't want to look like a psycho on campus, but you know how it is.
Oh, yeah. How's your week going, Jordan?
Pretty good. The sun's out today. The sun has not been out for us much recently, so it's a nice weather, nice temperature.
The only problem I'm having is it's super breezy right now.
It's way too windy.
Way too windy.
It is way too windy.
Like, I think you said earlier you were walking to class and you kind of did like a
side.
Yeah,
I had to like lean to the side because it was blowing me over. Jeez.
All right, guys, let's get into our first topic of the day. We're going to talk about the Longelgs trailer and the Quiet Place Day 1 trailer at the same time. We'll talk about one and then the other. Longelgs stars Nicolas Cage, which is something interesting we found out about that. And also, Quiet Place Day 1 is the prequel to the first and second trailer. Let's start with A Quiet Place Day 1. Now, have both of you seen the first two?
I have, yeah.
And you have? Okay, perfect. So, what did you guys think of the trailer? Let's start off with you, Nolan.
I mean, I think it looks really good. I love the concept of A Quiet Place just as a whole. So, seeing a kind of a fresh new take on it is going to be really cool, especially because we didn't see a whole lot of the beginning until the second movie, right?
Yeah, the second movie you kind of saw the beginning of what happened through the perspective of the main characters. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So I think it could be. I think it could be really great. A Quiet Place Part 2 is actually the first horror movie I ever saw in a theater. Really?
Because I liked the first one so much, and at the time I really wasn't a big horror fan at all. But that kind of got me into it a little more, and I ended up liking both of them quite a bit. I think I still like the first one a little bit more than the second one.
Same.
The ending and just the third act as a whole was a little weird, but it was.
I will say it's just John Krasinski is like. I was surprised in how well he directed those movies.
Yeah.
Like, extremely satisfied with it. I think that's why I didn't like the second one as much, because he wasn't in it, because, of course, spoiler alert, he dies in the first one. But what about you, Jordan? I'll give my thoughts after you, but what did you think of this trailer and how it fits into the other two?
I think it looks really, really good. It has almost like, not to compare the movies, but it has kind of like a Cloverfield vibe to it, like the beginning of an apocalypse, which I love movies. I love watching it start and how people react to it. And to me, it's kind of cool because I remember at least the first Quiet Place, very quiet, because they wanted you to feel like these people have to be quiet. The audience wants to understand the point of that. But day one, it is loud. There's explosions, there's car horns. So to me, it was like, ooh, be quiet. You can't be.
Yeah.
Figure it out, man. Be quiet, dude. But it looks good. I'm excited for it.
I will say I watched the trailer and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was surprised. So I was reserved. I had reservations about this film because, again, we already saw the beginning of it in A Quiet Place Part 2, as far as how everything started, because you can see the meteors falling already, so you knew they came from space, stuff like that. So I was like, what's the point of it? But then when they put it in the contents of a city, I liked it a little bit more. But then, I don't know if you guys caught on it, but there is now, the one thing I was worried about is what was the point if there's no connection to any of the characters from the first two. Mm-hmm. But if you paid attention, there's a small connection, but there is a connection. Lupita Nyong'o's, there's a scene with her and an actor, I forget his name, it'll come to me here in just a moment, but he was in A Quiet Place Part 2. He was one of the guys who was on the island that the daughter went to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's in this trailer, so I think that's the connection of some way, that because he's in this with her, so then that raises the question, what happens to her character in this film? If she's not in part 2,
Whoa.
what could that mean for her character as well?
That could be interesting.
That could be. I mean, that's something to think about. But that was one thing I had reserves on because I loved the family in part 1 and 2, and I wanted to keep continuing on with their story. I hope after the prequel starts and it's still successful, that they'll continue a part 3 of the continuation, because now that they know how to kill these creatures, spoiler alert, I want to see that kind of resolution in a sense. I mean, would you guys agree with that, or do you think?
I would. I think the more that we've talked about it, the more I kind of realized that the draw in it for me was the kind of family aspect, and how you were talking about how everything was quiet. I think that it was just a really interesting style, and of course them being from a small town, I think really added to it. So for it to be in a city, I feel like it loses some of the sauce it had.
Yeah.
I don't have another word for it, but I think it could be really cool, just a separate kind of cool than the originals were.
Right. So now let's go ahead and talk about real quick about Longelgs. Now this is starring Nicolas Cage, but then also they're promoting this as if he is the star, but he's not actually the star, is he, Jordan?
Star. No, Micah Monroe is actually the star, which they are billing it as a Nicolas Cage movie, which I understand. Micah Monroe she's been in stuff. She's been in It Follows, Hot Summer Nights, Greta the Fifth Wave. She was the main character in It Follows, but everything else she's kind of been that secondary character.
That was like her breakout role almost.
Yeah, so I understand why they are promoting it as Nicolas Cage, but then we watched the trailer and like, where's Nicky?
He's not even nowhere to be found in the trailer.
Yeah.
That was the shocking part. But did you like? I liked the feel of the trailer.
Yeah.
I liked the mystique of it and how it's slow. The movie title slowly came together. What about you, Nolan? What did you think of it?
I thought it was a really cool trailer. I like it when trailers aren't just like mashups of scenes from the movies. I like it when it's just something like a specific scene, and it's like, oh, now I really want to know the context for that specific thing. And I will say, the thing that sold me on it was the starring Nicolas Cage, because I will watch anything that man is in. I think he is insane and very talented, and I think those two things usually go hand in hand, but specifically for him, I want to see it, but I did some looking. The director doesn't have anything rated higher than a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, I think on Metacritic too. So it's a bit of a gamble, but it's starring Nicolas Cage, so I'm still gonna see it.
Yeah, I enjoyed Gretel and Hansel. I mean, I thought it was all right.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, that was one of the most recent movies he did, and then he did an episode of Twilight Zone, the new season.
Yeah.
But what are your expectations for this one?
I'm excited for it. The editing of the trailer was good. Like you said, mashing up the scenes was really good. I really am intrigued by the editing of movies. I like to watch the process of it. So if the trailer was edited well, then I'm hoping the movie will be edited well, and I'm excited for it.
And that's one drawback I always have, because you ever seen those parts where a movie makes a trailer and it's amazing, then you go to the movie theater and you're like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just like kind of let down and pissed off about it. And so I'm hoping this isn't the case, but I do like the aesthetic look of it cinematography-wise. So that to me is something I'm really excited about to see. But what do you guys think of Longelgs and A Quiet Place Day 1 trailers? Leave your comments in the section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, let's move on to the next topic we have for you guys here today. According to Variety, director David Leitch from John Wick franchise and of many more films is set to direct the Jurassic World 4, where also the original writer for the first Jurassic Park, David, I can't pronounce his last name, Coop, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, I apologize, but he is returning to write the script as well, which makes me really excited. Some of the movies you know from David Leitch, of course, John Wick, but he also directed Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train. I know Thomas, our director, loves that film. And then he also did, he's doing The Fall Guy as well. It's coming out this year. So what did you guys think of this news now that you hear all the films that he has done? How do you think about him directing? I'm going to start with you, Nolan, and then I'll come to you, Jordan. How do you feel about David Leitch directing a Jurassic World film?
I think it could be really cool. I think it might be the breath of fresh air that the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchise needs. The last one was kind of just nostalgia bait, as a lot of movies are doing recently, and it ended up being not great. I really loved Jurassic Park, the first couple movies, and I liked Jurassic World a lot too. The second Jurassic World is fine, and then the third one that just came out, Dominion, I think, was really not great. So hearing that someone like him is going to direct it, and it's going to be, knowing him, probably super action-packed and just full of the flavor that he brings to stuff, I think it's going to be great. I will say, when I first heard about this news, I thought, because I heard about it verbally, I heard David Lynch is going to be directing the next Jurassic World, as in the guy who made.
Oh yeah, but hold on. One of our almost Jurassic World 4 equal in space.
Yeah, why not at this point?
I mean, I guess so. Jurassic World.
They
got
to fix it somehow.
Yeah, because what do you do from here, honestly? Sorry, we'll get back to what your point was here, but where do they go from here? Seriously, like
we've seen the
dinosaurs are out in the world now, so it's like just humans learning to live with these dinosaurs. I don't know, but anyways,
that could be really interesting too. Like that's something that I think might even be worth exploring. But I thought, because it was just one of my friends talking to me, and he said it kind of fast. I heard David Lynch, who made Twin Peaks and Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive, all these just like really surrealist kind of horror movies and shows, and I was like, that might be the best movie ever made. And then it was the guy who made John Wick instead. So it's still probably going to be really good. But, it was a moment of like huge expectations, and then he was like, "Oh no, dude, different guy."
What about you, Jordan? Because I mean, for me, it's great to hear David Lynch is directing it, but for me, what really captures my intrigue is that the original writer for Jurassic Park is returning for this one. So what about you? What stands out to you as far as all this news here, and also like the films he's directed before?
Right. I agree with what Nolan said. I really like that you said it's a breath of fresh air almost that it might need. I love the first Jurassic Park, and I love the first Jurassic World.
I like
so
Jurassic
if
World first.
they could do a good mashup, kind of get that same energy from both the first ones, I think it'd be good. And he did Bullet Train. I love Bullet Train.
Bullet Train's a lot of fun.
Bullet Train is one of the best movies that when I saw it for the first time, like, this is one of the best movies I've seen in a while. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be good.
I think we can all attest here in this room that how many times Thomas, our director, has gushed over Bullet Train. Like
rightfully.
All the time.
Rightfully.
But that's, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with this. But also, he is making the Fall Guy that's coming out this year. So we'll see if he's still, because so far, all the movies he's directed by himself, because before it was him and Chris, I forgot his last name. They co-directed the first John Wick. Ever since they broke apart, he did Atomic Blonde and all these ones. He's hit it out the park almost every time. I even enjoyed Hobbs and Shaw personally. Hold on, Noah's got one. It's okay. Our favorite dinosaur. My favorite dinosaur. Ooh, what's your guys'? I gotta think about that one real quick. That's kind of a tough one.
I'm gonna go with one of the basic ones. And I know that I have an answer like prepared. I got put on the spot. Nope, I remember. Ankylosaurus. Having a hammer for a tail, that's awesome.
Those things are cool.
That is so cool. And we have a coloring sheet we got from IHOP of an Ankylosaurus on my fridge. So.
I hate to be that guy, but probably a Velociraptor. I've always found those interesting. Or the one that, I can't remember, it's I think it's the Dilophosaurus with the thing that shoots the ink out of its mouth. Those are pretty cool too. What about you? What's your favorite?
I gotta go with the classic T-Rex.
Yeah,
it's just
T-Rex
big,
is pretty awesome.
It's scary, it's cool looking.
But what do you guys think of this news here? Are you the tall herbivore? Oh, Brachiosaurus?
Yeah.
Okay, those are cool. I can see that. That matches. But what do you guys think of this news? Are you excited for David Leitch to direct Jurassic World 4 and also the writer returning as well from the original Jurassic Park? Leave your comments in that section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys, let's move on here to our next topic. We have the Beetlejuice trailer, the poster just dropped from USA Today, and it's not called Beetlejuice 2. I think it's very clever that they call it Beetlejuice. So that means they make a third one. They have to do it 3 times. They have to. I mean, at least to mine, I think they should. But looking at the poster, guys, you saw the poster, and I think it's part of it is directly behind me. What do you guys think? It's not much to go off of, but what do you think of seeing this poster and getting more news that's coming out for the new movie?
I am very excited. I feel like at this point I might sound like an idiot. It is Michael Keaton coming back, right?
He's coming back, yes.
At this point in his career, I think Michael Keaton probably wouldn't come back if he didn't think that this movie was going to be really good.
True.
So, him coming back, and because it's not just him coming back, right? A ton of people are.
I think, a lot of them are coming back, the same cast. I know Winona Ryder's coming back as well. I'm not sure about the others, the ones who died who own the house. I'll have to check on that one, but keep going. I'll check on it.
Yeah, I think that the original cast coming back is giving me a lot more faith in it. I typically don't like when companies are just kind of like, oh, you remember that movie from 30 years ago? Here's a second one because we can't think of anything else. But I think that this one's going to be a little different. I think that it could be. I think it could be really good. I saw the original when I was a little kid, and it scared the crap out of me. So I haven't seen it since. But I do remember liking it.
Hold on, we got Leilani's got something to say over here. Let's move over here to her. Let's wait for the camera to get there. Oh, she hearts Winona Ryder. I mean, she's awesome in Stranger Things.
She's
awesome in everything.
Yeah, she really is.
Everything.
So I looked at the list. The original 2 actors who were like the people who lived in the house, they're not going to be in it. But Winona Ryder is returning. Catherine O'Hara, who plays her mom, is returning. They have a new actress who's going to be playing Beetlejuice's wife, Monica Bellucci. Which that's really interesting. And then Jenna Ortega, of course, is returning. But it looks like her name is Astra Deitch, which is what I suspected. I think Jenna Ortega is going to be playing Winona Ryder's daughter. I'm pretty sure that's the route they're going to take with this one. But what did you think of the poster, Jordan? And I mean, what do you think about all the actors returning and your excitement for it?
I love the poster. I like that it's just the release date. There's not. It doesn't feel like they're implying a lot on what's going to happen, but they're just, this is when it's coming out. And I'm very excited for Jenna Ortega. She has a very spooky, kind of edgy, creepy vibe to her. I wonder if she'll bring more of that into this movie. And I love Michael Keaton. I'm so glad Michael Keaton's coming back.
Yeah, I'm really excited for him to come back too. For me, Winona Ryder's the big one for me.
Yeah.
I still love her to this day. And it's funny that as far as the trajectory of careers, it seems Jenna Ortega's on a very similar path as far as taste in films as Winona Ryder. I find that very interesting. But she's still perfect for this. I mean, she's amazing in Wednesday. She was great in the Scream movies before she left it for reasons we talked about before.
Very good reasons.
Yeah. So, and then another one that I just saw that his character name hasn't been announced yet, but Willem Dafoe is also going to be in this film.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
So that's really exciting to me. I want to see what character he becomes in here. But other than that, I think the poster looks great. It's a very simple, but it's effective. And I just, honestly, now I'm ready to see a trailer. Like, show me something.
Yeah.
It's not too far off. I feel like we should be getting a trailer soon.
Yeah, you think
the next
usually,
month or two.
Yeah, I would say about a month or two. Usually you have a teaser at least like 5 months out or something like that. So
maybe sometime this weekend.
Hey, I'd like that. We can do it next week.
It'll be fun.
But what do you guys think of this poster for Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice is no longer called Beetlejuice 2. Leave your comments in that section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, let's move on here to our next segment before we get into our discussion of the week. According to Screen Rant, we have a first look at Daredevil and Bullseye's news shoot for Daredevil Born Again for the Netflix TV show. As you can see them right there on your guys' screens. Much different look than what you saw from She-Hulk and then also from the original Netflix. I will say I was in the camp that did not like the She-Hulk look. Like, I know it's comic book accurate, quote unquote, because people say, well, in the comics,
it's iconic,
in the comics, he had yellow on it, but still doesn't matter. There's things that look good in comics, but don't, in my opinion, don't translate on screen very well. But the Netflix Daredevil costume was awesome, and it seems like they're getting closer enough to it than what it was before. But I have my thoughts on it. I'm gonna go to you first, Jordan, because I know you don't have.
I'm gonna take a while. I'm gonna take a while.
Nolan's gonna take a while. Yeah. So, Jordan, what about you? What do you think of the suits and how they look?
So I've seen the first episode of Daredevil. I know the story. I followed the story through the comics a little bit. But Daredevil, when it came out, it was TVMA. I was still a little kid, so my parents didn't kind of restricted what I watched. They had good reasons to. That's fair. But the only thing I really noticed, and that I feel like other people have noticed, is that Daredevil's suit does not have the iconic DD logo on it.
Yeah. No.
It doesn't.
No, but you don't need to. I'm sorry. Maybe you think differently, but I'm sorry. But if I see a street level fighter who's a BA, I don't want to say the word, but and you see him also have 2 Ds on there, I'm like, you're not that intimidating now. That's just my opinion. But for me, what do you think of Bullseye's his suit? The one,
I'm not a fan of the headpiece. Everything else, the colors are nice, but I don't know. Just not a huge fan.
Yeah, me too. I mean, when I saw Daredevil's, my thoughts before we get to Nolan, because I know he's going to go off.
Yeah.
I think me and you can agree that we're big marks for Daredevil. I mean, I followed the show in Netflix when it first came out all the way, and I love the fact that it's canon. That Netflix Daredevil's. Hold on, we got something from Noah right here. Daredevil TV show original versus Flash TV. Oh, Daredevil. Sorry,
No
I love
competition.
Flash. I love Flash. Don't get me wrong. I love Flash, but Daredevil. I mean,
No
it's more
competition.
my taste. Does that make sense? I like the darker, more grittier stuff with the action. Flash is still fun. Don't get me wrong. I still love Grant Gustin. If they're going to do DCU Flash, just hire Grant Gustin.
Grant
That's all you
He's
need to do.
amazing. He's great.
That's all you need to do. But as far as these costumes go, I like the design. I am not quite sold on the brightness of the red.
Yeah.
That is my only pet peeve. And then, I'm sorry, Bullseye's costume looks like trash. It looks awful. He looks like he's about to go burglarize something, or he looks like one of those IRA hitmen or something. I don't know. Bullseye doesn't shoot. He doesn't in the comics. He doesn't shoot guns. He
doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to. And I don't know. Anyways, Nolan, what are your thoughts on the costumes? Because I know you're just as big a fan of Daredevil as I am.
I'm gonna start on Daredevil. Of course, I love Daredevil. That's the wrong side. He's right here. That's my boy. I've loved him since before the show came out when I was in like 6th grade. I actually, you were talking about being young when the show came out. I got in trouble because I was a freshman in high school when the 3rd season came out, and I was watching it in class on my phone. And one of my teachers was looking over my shoulder and was like, "That is super violent, dude. Stop." But anyway, I actually kind of like the brighter suit. I think it looks nice. I think part of the problem that people had with the Netflix suit was just that it was too dark, and that in dark scenes you just couldn't really tell what was going on.
I guess that's a good point, because if they're going to be a darker tone like it is for the red, will pop more. It's just when you see it in the light like this, you're just like,
yeah.
ooh.
And one thing I will say is the brightness is going to be needed, because if it's a Disney Plus show, it's going to be lit terribly. They all have this in common. They all try to use the volume, which is the LED screen thing, and none of them know how to do it. Every Disney Plus show looks terrible. There's at least one episode where it's just dark the entire time and you don't know what's going on. Happened to Percy Jackson, happened to Moon Knight, happened to all of them so far.
Mandalorian does look good with the LED screen.
That's because the cinematographer is the person who invented the volume.
True.
And he was only there for the first 2 seasons. And then on the 3rd season, they stopped knowing how to use it. The DD is not something I mind missing. It's iconic, but I don't think it really matters. He got the nickname Devil of Hell's Kitchen before he even had the suit in season 1. When he was still just wearing the black costume.
Yep.
And so for him to just wear the thing that says Daredevil, it's a little redundant because everyone already knows who he is.
Exactly.
But yeah, I like the suit. Looks good. Moving on to Bullseye.
No, God.
I love Bullseye very much. I have this jacket that I painted the Bullseye onto. Bullseye is one of my favorite characters ever, specifically because of how well Wilson Bethel does in Daredevil Season 3.
Yeah, he does great.
He's incredible, and he's very well complemented by Vincent D'Onofrio as well, but I think he really stands on his own. This costume is bad, but I think it's because it's handmade. There's no way that this is a final costume. I think that we're going to see a costume later on, because we know that Ben Poindexter is he's a competent guy, so he probably just threw this together and was like, that's fine. He's probably gonna get a better suit later. He's got a ton of compartments for knives and stuff, and it looks like he's holding a gun too, which does make me a little upset. I think the best part of him comes from the fact that he would never need a gun. We've shown in the beginning of season 3 that he's good with one, but then he kills a dude with a pencil and a stapler in the same scene in an office building, and he's way scarier without weapons. So I think giving him a gun is a little, you're wasting a huge opportunity. The office fight was the coolest scene that Marvel's ever done. So just giving him a gun is a huge waste. But I think people should have a little more faith. I don't think that this is going to be the final suit.
Yeah, I hope not. If
I'm
it's
not going to bet on it because it is a Disney Plus show, but I hope that this isn't it.
What I think would be cool if this is something he made, and then he starts causing trouble with Daredevil, and with Daredevil's going after Mayor Fisk, because I'm pretty sure that's where they're going.
Yeah.
Maybe Fisk sees what he's trying to do, and he helps him get a better suit.
Yeah.
And that's what we might see towards the end, because this now I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, you brought up a good point with the red. It will probably show better in the dark. I just hope that whoever the cinematographer is, I haven't looked it up yet, will know how to light this right. Keep it the tone it was in the Netflix show, because how they did it in Netflix was, to me, pitch perfect.
Yeah.
And then you continue on with that same feeling, because this is going to be rated TVMA.
Yes.
It is going to be a mature TV show for Daredevil. So I think that's good, and also a really good sign as well. But what do you guys think of the suits for Bullseye and Daredevil for the Born Again TV show? Leave your comments in the section below and let us know your thoughts. Now we're on the last topic, our discussion of the week. And Thomas, I'm sorry I told you we were going to do 30 minutes. We're probably going to go over probably 5 minutes or so. But, you love me. We're going to be talking about, since it is Super Bowl week, we're going to be talking about sports movies. Specifically, what is our favorite sports movies? Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be the best. It can just be your favorite. Now, when I get to mine, I'll get to mine at the end. I cheated. I have a favorite movie, but I also have a favorite scene from another movie, and we'll talk about that. But let's go on with, you started with you, Jordan. What is your favorite sports movie that always comes to mind for you?
My favorite sports movie is A League of Their Own from 1992.
I gotta give you. That was my close second.
So good.
Love that movie.
So good. I've seen that movie so many times I can't remember the first time I watched it, because I feel like, plus I was a softball player when I was young. So it's just kind of a movie that I've seen so many times. I don't remember the first time I watched it. It's been in my childhood until today. If it's streaming anywhere, I'll watch it. If it's on TV, I end up watching it. It makes me cry every single time. If you've seen it, you know it makes you cry every single time that scene shows up. I can't handle it. And
I get teary-eyed too. I
just start crying, but it's so good. The character development, I feel like every single character is completely different from the end to the beginning. It's just so good. I love
written, well directed.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Yes.
And
it's so good.
The main actress, Gina
Davis?
Gina Davis.
Yeah.
She's my favorite in that movie.
She's good. And Rosie O'Donnell and Madonna, the best combo.
That was a great combo.
It's so fun.
Perfect.
It's like two opposite people, and they are so good together.
Yeah.
I love
them both together. And that was a close second for me. I almost made it my one I was going to talk about, but I'm glad you did. I didn't even know that was going to be yours. That works out perfect.
I love it.
So how about you, man? What comes to mind for your favorite sport? Because we were talking about it briefly, but you had to think on the spot, but then all of a sudden a light bulb popped in your head.
Yeah. I haven't seen A League of Their Own. Sounds like I need to.
Cinema, sit down. Somebody pick it.
Yeah. My personal pick is the Mighty Ducks.
Oh. Okay, I gotta give you this one.
Because
so good.
I gotta give you that one.
Hockey is my favorite sport.
Yeah. So, I would prefer it over this, but Mighty Ducks over Miracle.
Miracle on Ice is one that's it's good. It's a good movie. It's a great movie. I shouldn't downplay it. But the Mighty Ducks I watched 10 times when I was a kid. It was one I feel like I probably watched it multiple times in one day. And it has Eldon Henson, who is in Daredevil, which we already know that I have a crazy bias towards Daredevil.
Yep.
So
and Emilio Estevez, of course, you can't be having him on the movie.
So that's Mighty Ducks is my personal favorite.
Hot take. I'm curious to see your reaction. I enjoy watching Mighty Ducks 2 more than the first one.
Yeah, I knew that. I felt like you were gonna say that earlier when you were talking about just the part of the movie. I was like, he's gonna say he likes the second one more, and that's fair.
And I mean, it's not that I
fair.
enjoy watching it more because it's a lot more fun. I guess more fun in a way.
Yeah.
So. That's a good pick. I really like them. Hold on. Let's get our floor director has their favorite here. Let's go over here a little bit more, Sam. Oh, there we go. That's fine. Air Bud. I forgot about Air Bud.
It's good.
That's a good one.
It is
good. It's about time we start putting real athletes back in movies. And I think Air Bud is a good start.
Maybe so. I think you guys know. I don't know if the audience knows, but Victoria's getting herself a service dog because she has autism. I want to talk to her trainers to see if they could teach the dog to play basketball.
That'd be fun.
Might cost a little extra.
Might cost a little extra, but I'm willing to pay the extra. I'm willing to pay it.
It'd be worth it.
Okay, so I cheated, and I don't care. It's my show. So my favorite film is, you said it, and I laughed, and it's actually, Noah said it as well. It was his favorite, but then he's gonna pick another one. But mine is Remember the Titans.
I did say that earlier.
You did.
Yeah, Remember the Titans. Denzel crushes it in that film, and you bring up the same thing. All the characters are different from the start of the film to the very end.
Yeah.
The friendships that are formed from the story is beautiful, and it's a feel-good moment at the end. It's like one of those moments at the end when they win, like you cheer along with them, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though I feel like Friday Night Lights is a better made film, I enjoy watching Remember the Titans more. So that for me is why I did what I did. So the thing I cheated on is there's a scene in 2006's Rocky Balboa that I saw this movie when I was 17 in theaters. And there's a scene where hold on, what you laughing at, Sam? Is it...
Thomas called you an old man.
Oh God, yeah, of course I'm
old man.
I don't know if you zoom in right here, you can see the grays in my beard
Grandpa.
too. You know what? Whatever. So when I saw this in theaters, the speech he gave to his son after his son was like, "Have you guys seen Rocky Balboa, the 2006 one?" Okay. There's a scene where his son's acting kind of like a brat, like he's not getting his way, he hates being in his father's shadow, and he tells his son this quote, and I'm gonna read this quote because after I heard this quote, I've almost not lived by this quote, but it's always something that reminds me whenever things are tough in life. So he stands in front of his son and he says, and I quote, "Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, nobody's gonna hit harder than life. And it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done." Like ever since I heard that, like that helped me throughout my life, that quote, as far as like getting through hard times, getting through moments where like, you know, either your electricity got shut off or you have money to pay the bills, or how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? Like life beats you down. So like that quote to me from a sports film is like one of my favorite scenes. And Sylvester Stallone did a great job with that scene because you really felt the emotion there to his son. So that was mine. I really enjoyed that scene. And even in that film, it's still fun. But if I had to pick one specific, you know, film, it's Remember the Titans, definitely. But other than that, anything else we want to talk about? Any other thoughts before we wrap up the show for the day? I think that's it. All right, folks, that'll do us for today. Thank you so much for watching. More importantly, what do you think of all the news? And also, what is your favorite sports show or sports movie? Leave your comments in the section below. Let us know whether you liked it or not. And also, if you liked what you watched, hit that like and punch the subscribe button so you receive all of our content we have here on Red Digital and on my channel on ReelTime. We have the D&D show that Nolan is hosting coming out next week on Fridays. We also have Friendly Fire, and my floor director broke something possibly. We have Cinema Sit Down on Mondays and Friendly Fire on Tuesdays. And I have a quick little announcement I'm going to make here right now, and I think I'm going to steal Thomas and Sam's thunder, who are the hosts of Friendly Fire. Here in the next couple weeks, you're going to be seeing a crossover of ReelTime RoundTable and Friendly Fire on Friendly Fire's on Friendly Fire's episode and on ReelTime RoundTable's episode. So keep a lookout for that on Red Digital. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Josh Williams.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Nolan.
And thank you for keeping it real with ReelTime.